Did you know that authors can make money on more than just the royalties from their books? This is an ongoing series, so follow along, hit the subscribe and notification bell if you are an author or an aspiring author so that you know how to create multiple streams of revenue as an author so you don't have to entirely rely on your book sales. One of my favorite ways that authors can make extra income is by selling swag. And this is going to be something that book lovers just adore. People want swag. They want swag in all of the forms, from magnetic bookmarks to pop Funkos to all sorts of book boxes and teas and drinks related to your books. They want swag that they can put on their bookshelves, swag they can show on social media, swag that they can buy at book signings or off of your website. They want things that go with the books that they love. And if you have swag, that gets more attention on your books. So swag is going to be incredibly helpful, and you have to take time and effort to create this. Now, there are some things that you can't and shouldn't be charging for, and there are some things that you absolutely can. So let's kind of break some of this down for you. You are not going to be able to charge, or you probably shouldn't. Maybe some of you can, maybe some of you can. But for the majority of people, the generalization here is you're not going to be charging for bookmarks with like your book cover on them. So if these bookmarks are for marketing purposes, they have your book cover, they have your blurb or your tagline, they are solely to go with the book itself and to make sales and to give away at book signings, don't charge people for that. I mean, you can use that as an upsell on your website if people are buying books. We actually talked about direct sales. Go watch that playlist. That's incredibly helpful to this conversation in this video. But you can upsell a bookmark. But for the most part, if it's marketing driven, I would not charge money for that. That would be a giveaway and a marketing expense for me. If, however, I design special bookmarks with glorious character art or really cool like maps or artwork or things visually connected to my book that is not to make a book sale, but to make the reader who already loves those characters in that setting just flip out, those I can sell. You're not going to sell them very expensive. You're not charging $13 for a bookmark. Okay, $1. We're not going to do very much on this, but that is something you can sell. So you have marketing things, marketing swag, anything that is we can classify as a marketing swag. So postcards or posters or magazines or bookmarks, things that are specifically to buy my book. Those are giveaways. Those are marketing. We're not charging for those. Anything that's pretty or related to your characters or your book that your readers, your dedicated fans are going to want, now you can charge a little bit for it. Not much, but a little bit of an upsell. You can do that at book signings. You can do it off of your website. You can do it on social media. You can do things that are going to work to your benefit. You don't just have to connect them to your book. If you are graphically inclined, you actually have the ability to create reader things. If you can do general swag as opposed to book-specific swag, you can also make a lot of money. So if you're somebody who designs bookmarks and posters and banners or tote bags or pillows or mugs, and you do general reader things, you can make a ton of money that way and also market your books in the process, but you can make some extra kickback on those reader bookish type things. And then you can do book specific ones with the character art and the maps, things for your dedicated fans. So you're looking for swag that either builds up the fandom or is in the bookish general space. And again, you can create all sorts of things. And these are things you can take to book signings or sell on your website or whatever it happens to be. You can even sell some of these on like Etsy. You can sell them on Redbubble, Amazon, clothing. I do some of that, which is kind of really fun. I have a lot of t-shirts out there in the bookish space that I created that y'all don't know I created, but I did. I see you wear them on social media and it's lots of fun. But you have the ability to create bookish things or things specific to your books. So in general, we're looking for bookmarks. We're going to be looking for things like tote bags. People love a good mug, like a coffee mug. They love t-shirts. They're going to love posters. If you have character art you've commissioned from an artist and you have all the rights to use it, you can make big posters that you can sell. That is super fun. Another really big one that people like is the pop Funkos. So you can design some of those or just like characters, anything that's standing art, anything they can string as garland on their bookshelves, anything they can set as a fun piece of nostalgia on their bookshelves is going to be something that they heavily invest into. tote bags that they can carry their books in, backpacks they can carry their books in, clothing. They really love t-shirts. They really love other types of clothing. Keychains, those are big ones. Anything that can act as a collectible is going to be really helpful. Pens, anything that is going to be like encouraging for them as an aspiring author. You're looking for things that people can collect and show up on social media. The more specific it is to whatever you're doing, the more it's going to be shown off on social media. So you're doing this, you're designing these things, you're creating these pieces of swag with the goal of having it being shown on social media. Now, if you want to level up, you can do a book box. Book boxes are really fun and actually incredibly easy to do. They are a little costly, so I do recommend maybe doing like a Kickstarter for that. Or you can do to raise the funds to then do it, or you can have people pre-order it and then you can make them. Or if you really think they're going to sell very well, just buy the boxes and then you can get all the stuff collected for it later on. There's a lot of things that you can do, and we've talked about book boxes before here on the channel, on my live streams. I've done them, very fun, very successful, and you can do book boxes in a number of different ways. So you can actually have them done with the book covers printed on them, or special designs, character artwork. You can do something that's a little more simple and add stickers to it, or have stamped things on it. There's so much. If you want to have a specific conversation about book boxes and how you can create them in a financially beneficial to you way, sorry, that was really hard, to find a way that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, go ahead and let me know, because I got the details for you, from the super fancy to the super economical way of doing those things. But creating swag in whatever form, in the form of journals or in the form of coloring books, adult coloring books are really fun. You can do things that are functional that they can use every day, like your pens or your pencils. You can do all sorts of things, big, small, all of them. You just need to go slow as you're creating these things. Make sure there's a market for it. Don't invest in like buying a ton of them. If you're going to make an adult coloring book, don't buy 75,000 copies and hope you sell them. Make sure you're being financially smart about these things, but you have the ability to do some really cool stuff with swag. And the more creative you can be, the better you're going to do. I once created magnetic bookmarks, and you can pay somebody to make these for you. You can pay a company to do these. You can like buy these in different places, or you can make them yourself. You can create the art and then cut them, print them out, cut them out, laminate them, put the magnets on it. You can do it yourself. So it depends on how much money you want to spend on it or how much time you want to spend on it. And then create a garland with that for people to attach to their bookshelves. Anything that people can show off or put on their bookshelves or put in their everyday life is going to be beneficial to you. And then if you can build up hype about it on social media, you're going to do really well. So you're selling these through your website. You're taking some of these things to different book signings. You can do exclusive to only this book signing. You can get all this one exclusive limited time thing. And then it becomes one of those like have to have things. The black market selling it afterward things. You want to make sure you're building up the hype around it. So swag is a really great way for authors to make additional income. And when it's connected to your book, your fandom is already built in to buy those products because they love your characters and because they love the world that you've created. If you're doing bookish things, you already have a community built in. You're an author and now you're creating this really cool swag for readers. You're going to do well with that. Now, don't go overboard and this is really important, please listen to me on this one, don't create crappy products. If you are bringing down the level of what we're doing, you're going to wreck it for everybody. Don't bring the level down, bring the level up. We're elevating. We're at least staying on that level, but we prefer that you elevate because when we pull things up, we all rise, right? Don't make crappy stuff and try to sell it. It will hurt you. It will hurt everyone. We don't want that. Let's work together to build this up and be smart about it. So start small, one product, one thing, see how you do with it. If it's a bust, try another thing. If it's a success, lean into that, then add in another thing. This is going to be a really great way for you to make a couple extra bucks, especially at in-person things, especially on social media. So drop your questions down below. I am here to get those answered for you. I love swag. I've done a ton of swag. I've done really well with my swag. My readers love swag, and I get really creative. There's a lot of things I've done that I didn't talk about today simply because I didn't think of it in time. I love to share with you guys. You know I don't gatekeep on these things, but there's a lot of ways that you can get creative. So if you heard me say something and you think, ooh, I could put a spin on that, I could do something unique with that, do it. Do it. I want you to do this. So start making a list of things that you can do, swag that you like to buy, swag that you would like to see from your author. If you're lacking in ideas, think about your favorite book with your favorite character. What would you like? Would you like a figurine of that character? Would you like a journal that was like written by that character? Do you want coloring books of that character? Do you want a tote bag with their face on it or a quote from them on it? Think about the things that you would want as a reader, as a lover of a book, of a character, of a world. What would you want? What would you like to represent? How would you like to represent that fandom? Now, how can you apply that to your book and your series? Okay, drop your questions down below. There are tons of other ways that authors can be making money. Swag is just one of many, many ways that authors can add an additional stream of revenue to their careers to make sure that whether or not the book sales are up or down, you are still making money in this business and able to support your family and your lifestyle. So follow along because this is ongoing. There's no end to this in sight. I will continue to give you ideas. Some of them will be back to back. Some of them will be spaced out a little bit. So just because it kind of has a couple episodes in a row and then drops down does not mean I'm done. I'm not done. There are so many ways you can be profitable as an author outside of just your writing. So follow along for more. I've got some really cool things coming for you and we'll see you in the upcoming episode.